All right, guys, how you doing? We're back. We are working on the Cutlass today. It is pouring rain outside. Huge surprise. It's pretty much always doing that these last few months in Jersey. But we're here at the Cutlass today, and I wanted to kind of give you a quick overview of what we're doing before we really get down to business. One of the things that I'm going to do today is we're going to, obviously, this is the LS3 intake from the SS. I just put it there to kind of close up the engine when I swap the blower over. Some of the things that I'm going to need to do today, we're going to just kind of prop this back out of the way. There's a fuel regulator setup that was originally set up for the blower. I have that all kind of sitting here waiting until I get the new fuel rails and intake on. But I have the starter just propped up. I want to get that back into place. I can't do that until I do the cam on it. So what I will most likely do is probably try to stab the cam in this direction. So what will need to come out, and I'm going to do this anyway, is pull the radiator setup out. I'm going to get this out of the way, move that over back to where it should be. So I'm just going to kind of prop it out of the way. We're going to disconnect a lot of this stuff. It's kind of annoying because we're going backwards with it, but I got to get everything off the front of the engine. And you can see the original cover down there anyway. So what I'll end up doing is pulling the water pump off. I have gaskets for that, so that's no big deal. We'll pull the radiator setup out, plus the intercooler for the, the heat exchanger, the ZL1 style heat exchanger for that from AFCO. So we're just going to kind of get everything off the engine. And one of the things I do want to do prior to doing that is I want to just lay the turbo setup in here, the one manifold for this side, just to see what I'm dealing with. So we're going to do that, kind of get things mocked up, lay the turbo in, because I think I'm going to have a problem with this battery being here. So if that's the case, then I already know what I need to do. The battery's either going to go to the other side of the car, which is the original spot for it. So that's not the end of the world. I'll just have to run some wiring back over to the other side. So it may end up over there, because if the turbo's here, it's going to come across, go into an intercooler, come out that side, and come back up to the intake. Or you know, it could go in. I could decide to turn it around, but that's not that could, you know, end up with some pressure drop. So what I may end up doing is just taking the radiator setup. I have a piece that's already set up to do that. That's why I'm kind of I made one of these a while ago that shifted the radiator over. So I may do that again. So basically, it's a slightly smaller radiator, single fan or two dual small fans, pushes it over so I can come into the intercooler, come right back out on that side and go right in. And there was a Pro Charger style intercooler that did that. So I may actually go back and try to get that again. So, you know, I'm going to work through all of this stuff. Sorry, I got my hands here doing that. But, you know, instead of just having you guys stare at nothing going on, you know, let's get back down to business. Let's start tearing this stuff apart, and, you know, we'll see what we're going to see, all right? All right, guys. So the way that I got it set up right now, and I've got the starter propped up, it won't be an issue, but I have the oil pan dipstick here. I'm just going to move this out of the way. I just got it loosely tightened up here just to kind of get it out of the way. But what we're going to do, we're going to loosely fit the manifold in to get a feel for what we're dealing with here. So what I'm going to do is, if this is like this, it's between 2 and 3. So I'm going to slowly lower this guy down, get her down in here. All right, let me do this. I just want to throw this gasket in there to be on the up and up on this. So, not that it's going to make any difference whatsoever, but let's get this in there. Okay. Pull that guy up a little, and boop. Okay. So that's good enough for that. So I'm just surveying the damage here. See, I can easily pull that up. The starter will pull that all in. So that's actually really good. There's actually really good clearance. Does fit. Let's see what happens here. Now it does fit, and it's definitely tight on the block, so I'm not worried about that now. That's in there, it's tight, but she fits. Very, very good clearance, so. You can see it's not the greatest lighting down there. I don't know if you can see down in there, but there's plenty of clearance for the outlet on here, so that's good. And I have, it's routed pretty well. I'm a little concerned about that boss there, but it looks like there's room. So what we'll end up doing, let's get the adapter for the mount, and we'll just see what it does. But I am a little concerned just with the clearance here. I may have to get really creative with this to make this work, but we'll figure it out. We always do. We'll just, you know, we're gonna have to do something a little interesting to make this all work, but that's part of the fun. So we're in here, manifold's installed. I'm just gonna loosely put this piece in for the dipstick, just so it's not flopping around and in anybody's way. But the manifold does fit well, a lot of clearance there. So I'm happy about that, fits well in the front. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna put the flange on for the turbo mount, and we're gonna see what's doing here, because I'm already seeing a problem with the, yep, that's already a huge problem. So that's definitely not gonna work. Holy moly, that is definitely not gonna work. This possibly couldn't be worse fitting. So I'm gonna have to come up with something to do this, because this is horrendous. This is one of those Steve Morris turbo mounts thing. They apparently never fitted in a G body, because they're like literally goes right into the side of it. So that sucks. So that basically kills that from that perspective. I'm not even gonna be able to mount this turbo using this at this point. So I gotta come up with a better way to do this. But what I can do is utilize, I'm gonna have to take a look at the flange and see if I can get a 90 that brings it up quite a bit, and maybe bring it into this area here. So what I'm gonna do is, yeah, wow, that is, we'll just say that that's terrible and leave it at that. Because I gotta come up with something that's gonna bring this up. And maybe it's just a matter of me, you know what I could do? I could probably cut this. I could probably chop this right here, get some more tubing, just to continue the curve, and get it so that it's flat right here, and then weld the other flange on. So I probably could do that. The problem that I have here, just looking at this, is that I may need to do something funky with the positioning of the turbo. So let me go grab the turbo and just get a feel for what I'm dealing with here, because I am concerned that I may not have to do like a funky 90 or something like that. But actually the battery looks like it'll still fit where it is. Not sure I want to leave it there with all that heat, but let me take a look and see what's doing here, because I know that this isn't going to work as it's sitting. So this is what you get. This is what you get. You buy off the shelf stuff that supposedly is going to work, but they don't give you the turbo mount. And there's a reason why they don't do that, because everything is different. So I'm going to kill this. Let me go grab the turbo. We'll see what we're going to deal with. All right, guys. So I have the turbo here, just trying to get a feel for what's doing, and just judging by where this thing's going to be when it comes up is pretty terrible. So I'm just trying to get a feel for where this is going to land. This is not going to work. This is like right in front of the intake. It couldn't be worst possible placement. So, yeah, we're gonna have some fun, folks. I'm not 100% sure what I'm gonna do, but it's gonna be my own custom mount for this. And what I would like to do is probably put her here. That's probably what I'm gonna end up doing, is coming up with a mount that brings it here. I'll move it forward, let the turbo, the compressor outlet go straight down so that I can send the turbo backwards. But yeah, this is terrible, guys. Like this is the mounts that they supply are absolutely horrendous. So like, I'm not sure if they just don't want you to have a radiator in it, but I'm not at all happy with that. So This is one of the reasons why doing custom stuff like this takes so long, because you're always coming up with ways to solve problems, which is a good thing. You know, it's all good. I think what I'm going to have to do, though, is either come up with something that moves my... I have to look. Maybe go with the LS3 Corvette. No, but you know what? The water pump's the same thing. So this is going to be a fun one, guys. I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to solve this, but, you know, this thing's heavy as balls. So, like, just holding this right here is really ridiculous. But I think what I can do is move it, mount it here, but I'm going to definitely have some fun trying to route that hose. But actually, this probably wouldn't be too bad, and I'm going to spin the compressor housing all the way around, but it's like, I'm not going to have any room for a filter, so I'm going to have to get creative with this, guys. I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do. Yeah, we're going to have to get creative. But there's a lot of stuff's going to have to move around. Hey, guys, so I ended up pulling the radiator bolts out to hold the shroud in place. I'm going to loosen the connection for the power steering line to get that off of the... ooh, man, it's cold in here. And this thing does not want to... Come on, there we go. Ah, there we go. Don't want to break that. So we're just going to kind of let that show. That's a good spot. Right there. Makes sense. It should leak everywhere. Put it right there for now. So what I'm going to... I've loosened this all up. I want to take this, get it out of the way, kind of prepare for the cam swap anyway, because I'm just looking. There's some things I definitely need to do anyhow. Oh man, I hate taking stuff apart, but for this I got to do it. So let me. I had a nice little setup here. Made it real easy to take things apart. So we're just going to put this right over here, out of the way. You got a nice ass shot. There you go. Enjoy that. You know what? I'm just gonna, because this is fairly well protected. Here, I'm just gonna lean this right here, keep it out of the way. I just don't want this getting damaged. So I'm just going to lean that right there for now. Just get it now. Now you have a lot more room. And I'm going to have to take the this guy out. And this was, you know, this was great because it, you know, it was a great setup, but I can't use it for what I need to do. So unless I go with like a really insane intake, but I don't want to do that. There was something I wanted to do with this car that I may have to even undo even more, even undo brakes and stuff like that to realize. But for now, it's okay. I'm going to have to also get this crossover here taken care of because I don't have anything in there for right now. But for what I need to do to get this done, I'm just going to keep moving forward. This is about as far as I have to do anything on the power steering, so this is good. I don't have to touch any of that crap. I can just take the cover off, and I can do the cam swap here. I can even leave the damn manifold on. But this at least gives me some room now to figure out what the hell I'm going to do with the turbo. I'm going to have to hack the bottom, the end of the adapter on. And I think what I can do, what I think I might be able to do is bring this in, clock it. The turbo will mount in this area here, facing straight into this area right here. So if I have to cut some of this bracing or whatever, just scallop it back to get something in there, I can do that, because I want the turbo not to be much higher than this here, so I can drain down very cleanly, and I can run it. I'll probably run it this way. I got to be careful so it doesn't smoke, but yeah, I'll have to do some touch up too here. I had some pieces on here that covered that all up, and I'm gonna have to do a little bit of touch up in that area. Not the end of the world, but let's. I can reach down in here pretty easily with some wrenches and pull out the AFCO intercooler. The heat exchanger. So that'll come out next. Get her out of the way, and then I'll have a lot of room. And I'm gonna have to change. Just looking at the size of the man, and there was like no clearance. There was like no clearance in the front of this thing. So this is mounted really well, but I'm gonna definitely have to change the front mount for this to put a thicker intercooler in, which is fine. This thing's probably about 3 inches thick, something like that, this tank, and it fit well in here. But in order to make sure I have enough for 1,000 horse, I'm gonna have to do something with this, because this is not enough room. Plenty of airflow potential, but not enough room for this bracing here. So I'll have to come up with something. more than likely I'm going to just take the bracket that's here, reverse it, come up with my own to go down and mount at the bottom there. But that's very straightforward. Man, this baby needs a bath big time. So let's keep chugging along here, and we'll keep making progress. At some point, I'm gonna have to mount this turbo in place, come up with something to hold it, and I have a feeling what I'm gonna end up doing is possibly just getting a aftermarket mount for the radiator, the coolant line here, because this is obviously not going in the right direction. And I have a radiator, and let me grab it because it's actually within. Oh man, she is so dirty, but she should work. Something along this size. Now this is a fairly cheapo, but it was built. It was for the purpose of what I was doing. What I can do is it moves everything over real cleanly, and puts it in a position where I could actually put a thicker. Actually, yeah, look at that, man. I could actually get more intercooler in there going backwards. So it's just a matter of how I make the bracket. So that actually will work really nice. So if I can find something like this size that can handle 1,000 horse, then I think we will be in very good shape, because then this gives me a really nice clean pocket right here to mount, put the turbo in. So it's just a matter of me coming up with the right radiator to get this job done. But this is great because this still leaves me plenty of room for my power steering. I can have something just turns this way, loops down. This guy will be fine going here. May have to do a little trimming and whatever, but this is great. Like, so this leaves me a lot of room. I can literally just put the turbo right here and empty, go down, go in, right back out, come around into the intake. So that may work out really well. Or I could do something that maybe centers it. It gives me a nice clean area to come straight up here. So let me, I'm gonna have to do some investigation. It's gonna take me a little bit to figure this out, but it may, the Pro Charger may end up being the solution for this. Okay guys, just kind of looking at this, what I think I can definitely do, just kind of reevaluating what I'm dealing with, is, if we go over here, sorry, we're doing a little bit of walking. I think I'll cut this flange off here, and I'll cut this flange off. Actually, you know what? Yeah, I'll cut this flange off because I need to do it anyway for the other piece. But if I hold this kind of like right in this location, I can basically hit this with a 90, a fairly clean 90 degree. And you can't see it too well, so I apologize when you're doing a little bit of moving. Don't barf. But I can do like a straight shot right in there. And it'll give me like a nice 90 into this fitting right here. I'll have to reverse the inlet, and if you look right here, I got a nice straight shot to the intercooler, so I can go in and then right back out, and that'll actually that should work. That should work, or I may have to come underneath over there and come up into the intake, but I'll sort that out. This is probably the best location for this. I just got to make sure I clear. There's some hardware down here that I got to be careful of, but I think this should work. This will give me enough room that I can position the turbo fairly cleanly here, and I just got to make sure I can find a radiator that'll work. But I think that's it. I think that's what I'll end up doing, because then I'll have the blow-off valve there. I can put it right into the exhaust pipe that'll run right along here. So I think, guys, that we got it. I think that's the plan going forward. I'm going to have to reevaluate things a little bit, and we'll take a look. But I think that will probably be what I need. So I got to get myself like a 90-degree piece of stainless, and then from there, I should be able to put something together. Now, I don't have stainless wire for this. I'm not going to do that. Honestly, don't care. I'll paint it. Yes, there's corrosion, all this stuff, and material science. I know I'm doing all that. I don't care. I really don't care. So, because I'll just get it coated, and yeah, we'll have material interaction, but that's only if there's an issue with water and all that other type of stuff, which this thing will not be driven in the rain. So what I think I will do, weld that together with my welder, and keep it as clean as I can, probably coat it, and I'll replace the fitting for the blow-off valve, and I think I might be good to go. So thanks for watching. I think we're good here. I think we got a plan going forward. Stay tuned, because this is going to be a wild one. So it's going to take a while, but we'll get there, guys.